looks right now like a little tranquil and hilly stream actually goes on to be one of South India's mightiest and holiest rivers, the Kaveri. And this week I will be crossing this river to go travel to the land of coffee and honey, Coorg. Welcome to Follow the Star, the show where we discover, explore and get amazed as we journey along India's highways. My journey though will not be limited to Coorg or even Karnataka. Our entire journey will cover two states, very different terrains and different highways. The first leg of our journey will be from Mysore to Polybetta in Coorg and then onto the Coorgi district capital of Madikeri. This journey will take place on three highways, the State Highway 88 in Kushalnagar, the State Highway 91 in Polybetta and lastly the State Highway 89 in Madikeri. Then, the second leg of our journey will be from Madikeri to Payoli in Kerala along two highways, the Coorg-Talacheri Highway and the Idapalli Panvel Highway. The entire journey will be around 360 kilometers. But today, we will be starting on the first leg of our journey in Karnataka. We will start off from Mysore and travel down the SH88 till around Kushalnagar. Post leaving Kushalnagar, we will take a detour to go down to Polybetta along the SH91. After a brief stopover at Polybetta, we go up to Madikeri along the SH89. The entire route is along a double-lane highway of good quality, punctuated by minor bad stretches as well as a stretch just outside Mysore, which is a 4-lane highway. This leg of my journey will be approximately 170 kilometers, which includes my detour to Polybetta. My journey starts off from the erstwhile capital of Karnataka, Mysore. Located at the base of the Chamundi Hills, Mysore is also known as the City of Palaces, having been previously ruled by the Vodeyar dynasty. Apart from the famous Mysore Palace, two other major attractions are the Chamundeshwari Temple and the very impressive and towering Gothic church of St. Philomena's. It also might be a good idea to pack some of the very rich but very delicious Mysore Pak as a gift. Getting out of Mysore does take some time. Traffic, though not terrible, is unpredictable at times and the roads can alternate between a narrow 4-lane highway most of the way, punctuated by brief patches of a 6-lane highway. So I'm finally getting out of Mysore onto the Mysore-Madikeri highway, which is also known as the Hunsur Road. It's taken me more time than I expected it would take me because funnily the population and the traffic has been more on the outskirts and less in the city. Even the roads, they've alternated between being a 4-lane highway and a 6-lane highway, and my drive so far hasn't really been very smooth, but I'm really looking forward to a nice drive now. The road that I was driving down was the SH88, which is also known as the Mysore-Madikeri Road. Maybe because this is not a toll road, the uniformity that one finds in the lanes or the quality is missing. As I mentioned earlier, the road alternates between being one of 4 lanes and 2 lanes, but thankfully the quality of the drive remained constantly good. The 2-lane highway now became noticeably greener, and though we did pass through some villages, on the whole, traffic on the highway as well as traffic from the villages remained low. Around 40 kilometers out of Mysore, one comes to a fork on the road. Both roads lead to Coorg, but to different towns, and I was taking the one on my right to continue straight on to Madikeri. "20 kilometers post the fork, I was about to take a slight detour and make my first pit stop. My destination, the Namdoling Monastery. The Namdoling Monastery is actually in the middle of one of the largest and oldest Tibetan settlements in India. A big arch on the left is a good landmark to turn off the highway and onto the road to the monastery. This road was one of the most beautiful ones I had ever driven on. Suddenly, from a dour South Indian highway, I felt that I had been transported to another country. The road was good, the rolling hills better, and the views just fantastic. Within the monastery, it was just beautiful. The main building dominated the compound, but there were parks all around and monks everywhere. Entry is free and tourists are encouraged to visit as long as they don't disturb the monks. Who would have thought in the middle of Karnataka I'd find a Tibetan settlement? It's calm, it's serene, it's peaceful. Even the weather here seems different. I certainly don't feel like I'm in Karnataka. The monastery itself sits in the middle of a vast complex that also houses a nunnery. Restaurants, as well as a shopping complex selling knickknacks which were appropriately Tibetan in nature. If one is travelling on this highway, a detour to this place is an absolute must. If not for anything else, but for the drive. Post my beautiful little diversion to mini Tibet, I was back on the road again. Just short of the town of Kushalnagar, I crossed a little river. What seemed a tiny hill stream here was actually the mighty Kaveri. At the bridge, there was even an idol dedicated to the river as a goddess. Crossing the bridge, I entered the town of Kushalnagar. Kushalnagar, though distance-wise is around 2/3 of the way to Madikeri, but time-wise, it's just midway. So now as I pass through Kushalnagar, I have officially entered the district of Coorg or Coorg. After Kushalnagar, I was going to be making another pit stop. It is called the Nisargadhama Ecological Park. Look at this. It's the Kaveri and it looks just like a lake. And can you hear the sound all around me? I've been really lucky because my last 2 pit stops have both been calm and serene and peaceful. This ecological park is actually situated on a 64-acre island in the middle of the Kaveri river. As a pit stop, this place is ideal for people traveling with kids because the park has many attractions and activities which children would enjoy. One can boat around the placid waters of the Kaveri or even take elephant rides. There is even a mini zoo which are sure to enthrall both kids as well as adults. The park also has restaurants and restrooms, which all in all makes this pit stop a must visit. So I've left Nisargadhama behind me and I'm still on the SH88. This roundabout ahead of me, which is barely a kilometer away from Nisargadhama, has 2 ways. The road ahead takes me to my ultimate destination, which is Madikeri, but I'm taking a slight diversion to the road to my left, which will take me to Polybetta on the SH91. As I leave the plains and enter the hills of Coorg, the drive only gets better. I also meet up with India's fashion guru and also a true blue Coorgi, Prasad Bidappa, who not only drives with me to Madikeri but also teaches me to shop Coorgi style. Welcome back to Follow the Star. I started my journey this morning from the royal city of Mysore on the SH88 to Madikeri in Coorg. But I've taken a slight diversion onto the SH91, which takes me to Polybetta, where we will be meeting our Coorgi guest Prasad Bidappa. After turning onto the SH91 to go to Polybetta, the 2-lane highway gently ascends the hills. The greenery increases as we pass through forests, and one doesn't see many villages either. The road is generally of good quality except for some rare patches with potholes. Coorg is famous for its coffee plantations, and I was going to visit Prasad Bidappa, who actually lives within a coffee plantation. Prasad is a fashion designer, choreographer and a stylist, which are just some of the many hats he wears. He is also considered to be the man with the magic touch when it comes to choosing India's next top model. Hi Prasad, how are you?
Hi Sonika, welcome to Coorg.
Thank you so much.
Did you have a good drive? How was the drive?
It's my first time in Coorg and it's been beautiful. The drive here is absolutely amazing. I come here and all I can see is coffee, something I can't live without. So you live in the middle of a coffee plantation?
We live in the middle of a coffee plantation. It's really wonderful to be here, and you're here at the right time because it's coffee blossom time.
Oh wow.
So this is a perfume that you're never going to find in a bottle and you're going to enjoy.
Nor am I going to find it back home, so I'm glad to be here myself.
Have you ever seen an estate? Can
No,
I take
I
you
haven't.
around?
That would be great.
Great, come, let me take you down this way. Here's a nice bit of coffee blossom. Take a smell at that, it's just beautiful. Such a delicate
it's like
fragrance.
fresh, yeah.
Imagine trying to bottle this. You know, no one will sell their coffee blossom. It'll be too expensive to bottle.
You wouldn't want to even bottle it,
Yeah,
no matter
I know.
how
It's very
much money
fresh,
you
very
make.
pretty. It's really nice.
I've never seen a coffee plantation. Like I've seen so much of tea. I've never seen something like this.
You see, Karnataka is one of the few places that grows coffee in the jungle situation. If you go to Africa and see, they've cleared all the jungles and coffee grows like bushes the way tea does with no tree shade. But in India, we grow it in a very ecologically sensitive way. which is why you have all these shade trees, which are mostly silver
They're
oak.
protecting your
Yeah, silver
coffee.
oak, mulberry, different kinds of trees. Oranges are a secondary crop over here. So you get orange blossom, and then all the honey that we get is either coffee blossom honey or it's an orange blossom honey. So you know, you get fantastic flavors over here.
Prasad even showed me some coffee from his plantation.
And there you have it. That's the coffee bean. You know, it's all hand-picked.
Okay.
And when the cherries are sort of bright red is when they're plucked, and then they're dried in the sun for many days. And you know that they're completely dry when you can hear it, you know?
So
that's the sound you hear.
They hand-picked, right?
It's hand-picked
How do
and
they,
dried.
what do they look for when they're picking?
They pluck the
ones
whole
that-
thing. It's a completely, everything is plucked.
Okay.
Nothing is kept behind at all. And then they'll go through a process of curing when it's soaked in water for a couple of days, and then they peel the outer skin off. And inside that is what you get.
Oh, that's what it
the
looks
coffee
like?
bean. And this is what is roasted and powdered for you to drink.
You know, when I think of coffee beans, this is what I think of. I would never have
Know that
thought
it's
it opens
inside.
up and it looks like this
Right,
inside.
but that's the coffee
and
berry.
that's what I can hear inside.
That's right. And that's the seed that you hear inside, and that's the coffee we drink.
Okay, so
once
you
it's roasted.
produce coffee here in your own
We do. We
plantation.
grow the coffee,
So,
but I don't take it through a curing process because if you don't, you know, you need running water. So we sell it to people like
I was just
Consolidated
gonna ask,
Coffee
you
or
sell
Tata
your
Coffee. We
coffee
sell our coffee.
after this little crash course in coffee, Prasad and me left for Madikeri. As we passed through Polybeta town, I even got to see how Coorgis shop.
So this is kachampuli, which is vinegar made from bitter oranges.
Okay.
And this is what gives Pandikari, the pork curry of Coorg, its extremely distinctive taste.
I love pandi curry.
You
I've
do?
tasted it and
Isn't
I
it
didn't know.
wonderful? And this is what gives it the taste.
Okay.
So it's technically what we call kachampuli, but it's made from...
Kachampuli?
Yeah. You know, they smoke oranges and that's the base of this vinegar.
The road to Madikeri with its beautiful views initially is a very good two-lane highway which is not very winding even though it runs through hills. Though, as we get closer to Madikeri, the road becomes narrower with even a few potholes thrown in. So are we finally at Madikeri?
Yeah, we're finally in Madikeri.
Madikeri is the headquarters of the district of Coorg. Unlike other hill stations, it appears to be cleaner and a lot less crowded. In Madikeri, Prasad took me to shop for some of the honey that Coorg is also famous for.
You know, this shop is very famous. It's called Spices Corner. And he's got fantastic forest honey, farmed honey. So forest honey is what the tribals go and pick actually from the forest by smoking the bees out. But the farmed honey is where they have apiaries in farms. So you know that regularly during the year they take it out.
So this seems more interesting, but
This is nice. And I think that this one also, you know, like look at it. It's got a deep, rich
You can
color.
make out the
This is the
difference.
one with the small bees. Which one do you
Which
like?
is the one with the small bees?
This one.
This one?
This one.
And that's darker. I
Darker.
like that.
You'll take
I
that. So
wanted to
we'll
try
take that.
With my trip winding down, Prasad and me decided to end the day by catching the sunset from a viewpoint. It was a little surreal how the start of my day in the hot plains around Mysore was so different from the cool hills of Coorg. I guess that's the beauty of traveling. It had been quite a pleasant and a beautiful trip with the 2 pit stops at the Namdroling Monastery and the Nisargadhama standing out. The monastery is an absolute must visit for anybody traveling down this road. If not for the serene environs of the Tibetan settlement, then definitely for the drive to the monastery itself. And whether you travel with children or not, Nisargadhama should also definitely be on the list of pit stops. The road itself, though not the widest, is overall of very good quality, and the passing landscape throughout the trip is wonderful. This drive is one we would strongly recommend and should be a good enough reason to visit the beautiful land of coffee and honey. In my next journey, I will be crossing state borders and entering God's own country, Kerala. Amidst serene locales, I will be tasting some local wine, driving around India's largest drive-in beach and meeting an Indian sporting legend, P.T. Usha. It's getting really tough for me to drive because the road... It's getting tougher for me to drive because I'm facing really bad roads now. On the SH88. 88? SH88? पकड़ के हिलाएं? I've been really lucky because my last